Hi everyone, it's me, Arielle, and it's Wednesday Warriors, and today I'm going to be talking about finding your positive traits. Believe it or not, we all have positive traits, and I know that because low self-esteem can be a big factor in an eating disorder, you may not think that you have a handful of positive traits, but you do. You just have to tap into those. Positive traits can be things like hobbies, things that we're good at, like if we are good artists or good writers or good at sports, things like that. But positive traits can also just mean I'm a thoughtful friend or I'm a good daughter, things like that. But you want to be careful that you don't define your worth simply based on one particular trait. The good thing about discovering your positive traits is that you can sort of give them names. You can sort of name them as pieces of yourself so that you have multiple identities that you can use for validation. And what I mean by this is that we usually seek validation from others. Or if we're not seeking validation from others, we seek validation from things like a number on a scale, a clothing size, the way we look in the mirror, things like that. A lot of us seek validation from other people because just simply asking ourselves if we feel we've accomplished something or we feel we're good at something doesn't quite seem to be enough. We look to others to sort of tell us if we've done a good job or, have done good enough. And it's good to feel validated, but we kind of look for it in the wrong places sometimes, I think. And first and foremost, you need to be able to feel validated within yourself. And one of the ways that you can do this is to use your positive traits. And by that I mean, I'll use myself as an example. And I've written about this before, but I have different facets of myself. I am Arielle the writer. I am Arielle the caseworker. I'm Arielle the daughter. I'm Arielle the wife. Arielle the friend, the sister, the artist. Those are certain facets of my being. Those are certain personalities that I have. I just sort of separate those into different beings. So if I do something, I can sort of say, what would Arielle the caseworker think of this? And I can validate myself with what I think she would think. What would Arielle the writer think of this? And then I can validate myself with what I know that facet of myself would think. What would Arielle the daughter think? And I can validate myself. And you can pick your positive traits, and you can label them, and you can use those to validate yourself. It's actually a really good exercise, I think, even if you only do it once. If you just sort of take a page in your notebook and write down all of the different people that you represent, all of the different things that you are, essentially. Separate it into as many different categories as you can, and then you can really see how multidimensional you are. And chances are a few traits coincide with those labels that you're giving yourself. And it's just important to remember how many things you really are wrapped up into one human being, because you can really validate yourself that way. You can really stop to wonder, what do I think of what I just did, instead of asking other people or wondering what other people think of what you've just done or said or accomplished. And it's kind of good at instilling that in your brain and asking yourself what you think, asking yourself for validation, asking yourself for that pat on the back instead of looking to something else. Another way to sort of discover your positive traits is to ask yourself, what kind of compliments have I gotten from people in my life? What have they told you that really made you smile, that you really took to heart? Have they told you that you are really genuine? Have they told you that you're a really sincere person? Have they told you that you're very thoughtful? That you really think of other people a lot? Have they told you that you're very intelligent when it comes to a particular category or facet of life? Have they told you that you are really cheerful, that you bring a lot of energy to the table, that you make people smile? You know, whatever it might be that you have gotten compliments on in the past. And I'm not talking physical compliments. I'm just talking compliments about your character. Those are things that you want to remember. I mean, we put so much stock into what other people think that when you get a compliment, we tend to pass it off or think, oh no, I can't be that good, or I can't be that, that bright, and, things like that. But if they're saying it for a reason, and it's silly to pass that off when most of the time you really want to know what they think and you really take everything else to heart. We all have one positive trait, and that's strength. And I know a lot of people think that they're not very strong, or they're not as strong as the next person. And, there obviously are people out there that are stronger than you, that are stronger than me. But that's not the point. The point is that we all have strength. Somewhere inside of us, we all have strength. We have the strength to live day to day. We have the strength to help ourselves. We have the strength to beat this. If you really want a life outside of your eating disorder, you have to tap into that strength, and that's a very positive trait. It should be at the top of your list of positive traits. And strength is just so important, and I have done a video before about strength, months ago, but if you think that you are not strong enough, you won't be. I say that all the time, but it's so true. If you think that you aren't strong enough, you won't be. So be strong enough, find that strength, and if you don't quite see it yet, fine, but realize that it's probably there inside and you still have to find it. Take that notebook page and write your name at the top of the page, really big, just your name, Arielle, and then all of the things that you are, all of the things that you're good at, all of the pieces of your character that people appreciate and that you appreciate. And you're just going to have this big page filled with words, positive words under your name. And that's just a powerful thing. I mean, that's something that we should all keep in a journal or a notebook, instead of writing constantly how much we hate ourselves and berating ourselves and talking about frustration and pain and anger and this and that. All those things are good and have their place, but to have a page somewhere in your notebook or journal that has your name big at the top and then all these different positive things about you at the bottom, even if they're just labels like I was saying earlier, Arielle the caseworker, Arielle the writer, Arielle the wife, those sorts of things. I mean, those are still positive traits. I mean, I love that I'm a caseworker and I can help people, and I love that I'm a writer and I have that talent and I enjoy it, and I love that I'm a wife and I have a loving husband who loves me and who I care for and who cares for me. So don't underestimate any little thing. I hope this helped, guys, and I hope you have a great Wednesday and a great rest of your week and a great weekend.